to do my wrap up for the BookTubeAthon. Even though you would have seen the books that I read in my monthly wrap up, I still want to talk about them and how the challenges that I finished and the books that I didn't finish and just how great this time was. If you saw my vlogs, you would have seen my level of just going, this is so great, to I'm so depressed and I can't read it all because I have to work. But if you want to watch those vlogs, they are like further back on my channel, and there's like 7 of them plus my Hunger Games parody that I hope you guys watch, because like I was so excited to be able to upload that finally, and it took me so long to find the video, but I was so excited to upload that. But let's get into what I read. The first book I read was The Things I Didn't Say by Kali Fosnaya, and I can't say her name, it's just like fla fla fla. And I read this book on the first day, and the challenge for this book was to read it in one whole day, and I did that. I read it at my grandma's, everyone else went out, and I was like, I'm gonna stay and read because I want to read a whole book in one day, and I did it, and I'm really excited. I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. It was an amazing contemporary, and it did really shine some light on selective mutism and what people feel like going through that, and it was amazing. And West, I love him so much. And the next book I read was A Million Miles Away by Lara Avery, and the challenge for this one was to read the whole book outside, and I read the first 60 pages and then I gave up because it's freezing in Jindabyne, like freezing. I was out there and it was windy and I had like 6 jumpers on, and I'm like, I give up, I can't do this, I'm gonna read it inside. So I failed the challenge, but I still read the book, so it's still a book read. And is there any like one that I can actually, like any other challenge that I can put onto this one? I don't know, I don't think I can. Like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, but there's none that actually cover this, so oh well. So I failed the challenge, but I read the book, and again I really enjoyed this one. It was a bit unbelievable, but a really good book, and I'm so glad I finally read it. And the last book I read in the readathon, I read this book over the last 4 days when I worked every single day and I had to do 9 or 8 hour shifts, so I didn't really have that much time to read, so I'm pretty happy that I did finish it, and that is Splintered by A.G. Howard. And the challenge for this one was to read a book with a person on the cover, so I did that because she's so epic looking on this cover as well. So I definitely enjoyed this book. It was an interesting spin on like the Wonderland story, and I'm so glad I'm finally into this series. And if you looked at my wrap up, I was actually talking about this, sort of doing like a little TBR there at the end where I was like, I'm gonna read this, and I was gonna read the next book in this series like later in the month, and I kind of already started reading Unhinged last night. I was just like, I have to keep going, I have to know what happens next. So I'm like 40 pages into that book, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm in the middle of 3 books at the moment. Like it's so hard because there's so many things I want to read that I just kind of like start picking things up, and I'm like, yee! So I've got to get back to 1 book at a time because it's just so much easier. But yes, I'm definitely excited to carry on with this series, and it'll be another series finish while my series TBR, not really series, yes it is a series TBR, but I have 20 series that I want to read, and this is gonna complete that challenge once I finish this one. But I definitely enjoyed this book overall, and it was so good. Just the 3 books that I didn't finish were Vasta in the Night, then Everything Leads to You, and then Tonight the Streets Are Ours. I didn't think I'd get to these books. Like, I mean, I thought maybe, because the next one I was gonna pick up was Vasta in the Night, but oh well, I didn't finish. It's okay. I read half of what I set out to read, and that happens to be mostly is where I read half the amount of books that I get, so it's kind of good. Like, I still read 3 in a week, which is like pretty good considering that I worked a lot and I was in a different area of the country. So yes, very excited. Overall, I had a really fun time for this BookTubeAthon, and it's always the best readathon, and I wish it happened more than once a year, but it kind of makes it more bittersweet that you only get to do it once, and then it's like waiting patiently for the next year. Like the holiday BookTubeAthon happens, but it's only for 3 days, so it's not the same, and you don't have like the video challenges. Like you have the other challenges, but yeah, I'm excited. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys later.